Hello everybody. Our lesson for today is about fossil fuels. So at the end of this lesson we will be able to define a fossil fuel, we will be able to determine the usage for the fossil fuels, and also we will be able to differentiate between the renewable and non-renewable resource. But before we start, let's have a look for this word, fossil. What do we mean by a fossil? Here we should ask ourselves a question. How could we know about animals or plants from the past that are no longer alive? Simply, the answer is fossils. So, scientists use clues from fossils to learn about the past. A fossil is evidence of an organism that lived long ago. So scientists have found dinosaur tracks, and by observing the patterns that the footprint made, scientists learned how the dinosaurs walked. So here we have a fossil for a leaf or for a dinosaur, also a fossil for a shell or for a dead alligator or for the dead alligator. Let's move for the fossil formation, how fossils are formed. Most fossils are found in sedimentary rocks. So sediments bury whatever remains from plants or animals, dead plants and dead animals that once lived. As the sediments turn to rocks, the buried remains can become fossils. So here we have sedimentary rocks, which are made up of sediments, and that they are the main cause for the fossil formation. Again, when a plant or animal dies, the soft parts quickly decay or are eaten. Bones and teeth will last longer. These hard parts are more likely to become fossil. So here we have a dead fish. The remainings of this dead fish will be buried by the sediments. Later on, the sediments will turn into rocks, and the buried remains can become fossils. Sometimes entire organisms are preserved. Here we have an example for the mammoth. A mammoth, which is a large animal, has been found frozen in the tundra ice. Another example here we have the insects or the spiders can become trapped inside an amber. So here we have insects trapped in a sticky tree sap. This sap can later on become an amber, which is a hard and smooth material. So we have here an amber, smooth material, and the insects or the spiders will stick inside. Let's move for the second part, which is about the fossil fuels. Here we should ask ourselves, where do people get energy to make electricity and drive vehicles? Simply the answer is fossil fuels. So most of it comes from the fossil fuels such as coal, such as oil, and natural gases. So a fossil fuel is an energy source that formed millions of years ago. Fossil fuels form from the remainings of the dead plants and dead animals. Also, they are non-renewable resource. A non-renewable resource here we mean that it's a useful material that cannot be replaced easily. When they are gone or when they are finished, they cannot be replaced or recovered easily. They need a long time. How can we get the stored energy that are found inside the fossil fuels? So to get this stored energy, simply we should burn the fossil fuel. So when these fossil fuels are burned, here we are destroying the resource, but we are getting the energy from inside. Finding of the fossil fuels. Searching for the fossil fuels can be difficult and expensive because it involves mining and drilling deep below the Earth's surface. and also we need a large power plants or factories to get the energy from the fossil fuels. So for that, it's an expensive and difficult process. Using of the fossil fuels, for what we can use them. Before that, we should know that a 1 liter of a natural gas, 1 liter of this gas takes millions of years to form, and we can burn it within a few seconds. Burning of these fossil fuels can cause air pollution, as we can see here in the picture. People will breathe the polluted air, and also they will become sick. Here we have the air pollution cause two things, either problems in the breathing, as we said, or formation of an acid rain, which will harm the organisms. Here we have a picture that shows us how acid rain is formed, which is a mixture between the polluted air. Here we have natural gases like the nitrogen, sulfur gases, will be mixed with water, and they will form an acid rain. Later on, when it rains, this acid rain will cause water pollution, will kill plants and animals, will damage the stones and the metals used in buildings or metals of cars. Here we have stones that are damaged by the acid rain. Here we should ask ourselves, can we know how long our fossil fuels supply will last? No, we can't. So no one knows how long our fossil fuel supply will last. That's why scientists are always looking for ways to produce energy. These are called the alternative energy sources. So alternative energy sources are other ways that could be used to produce energy instead of the fossil fuels that will not stay forever. So, what can we use instead of the fossil fuels? We can use other sources. For example, all of us, we know that the earth and the sun supply us with renewable resources. Instead of that of the non-renewable resources like the fossil fuels, the earth and the sun can supply us with renewable one. The sun provides us with a source of energy every day. Also, we can use a tool which is called the solar cell, can change the energy from the sun into electricity. As this one here in the picture, here we have the solar cell. It takes the energy from the sun and it can change it into electricity. Here we should differentiate between two types of resources. We have the renewable resources, which are natural resources that can be replaced or replenished easily in a short period of time, like wind, like water, like plants. And we have the non-renewable resources, which are useful materials that cannot be replaced or replenished easily. Once it's used up, it's gone forever, or it needs a long time to be replaced. For example, the metals, oil, and petroleum. As we said before, no one knows how long our fossil fuels supply will last, and for that, scientists are trying to find alternative energy sources instead of that. Here we have some ways that could be used to produce energy. We have the solar energy from the sun, as we said. We have the energy from the wind, energy from heat within the earth, energy from flowing water like from rivers. Today we are using water to make electricity. Energy from the ocean tides. So all these ways are used as an alternative energy sources instead of the non-renewable one that will not remain forever. All these are renewable resources that could be replaced easily or recovered easily